Vice President Omar Suleiman addressed the Egyptian people announcing President Mubarak has stepped down.
In these difficult circumstances that Egypt is going through, President Mubarak decided to resign from his post as the president, and he requested the Supreme Council of the Armed Forces to run the affairs of the country, and God help us all.
Hosni Mubarak's presidency was born during one of the most terrifying events in Egypt's history, the assassination of then-President Anwar Sadat at a military parade in 1981. Mr. Mubarak was vice president and escaped unharmed. The assassins were Islamic extremists in the army. David Ottaway was Washington Post bureau chief in Cairo.
I was in the stands when Sadat was assassinated and watched Mubarak get out from under a pile of chairs and shake the dirt off his hat and look around totally stunned by what had just happened.
Mr. Mubarak was sworn in as president 8 days later. Ottaway describes him as stubborn and says he never really seemed interested in building a relationship with foreign media.
He was always very taciturn. His answers were somewhat cryptic, and you didn't ever know quite what he meant when he spoke. He offered no real vision other than stability for the country.
Fast forward 30 years. For most of those years, Egypt was stable. Cairo played an important role in maintaining an Egyptian-Israeli peace treaty that was unpopular with Egyptians and other Arab countries. Egypt was eventually accepted back in the Arab fold. The Mubarak government worked to advance the Israeli-Palestinian peace process. It was also a close ally of the United States. But many say stability came at a high price. Prominent voices were imprisoned for criticizing Mr. Mubarak. Despite heavy security, the president was the target of several assassination attempts. However, he said he wasn't afraid.
Nobody is going to live forever.
In the most recent parliamentary elections, the president's National Democratic Party crushed the opposition amid credible allegations of voter intimidation and vote rigging. Leaders of the Muslim Brotherhood, the most popular opposition movement, faced constant arrest and extended detentions. Recently, Mr. Mubarak's apparent grooming of his son Gamal as his successor drew resentment from average Egyptians. And economic reforms widened the gap between rich and poor, according to Ottaway, now at the Woodrow Wilson Center.
Economically, the reforms they began in 2004 produced tremendous results because the GDP of Egypt more than doubled in 4 years between 2004 and 2008. So the economy was booming, but the people at the bottom were not benefiting from this economic boom. And that's the background to the turmoil taking place now.
Then came Tunisia and the revolt there. Egyptians wondered why they couldn't do the same. The protest began January 25th and expanded across the country, igniting labor protests and strikes. Mr. Mubarak's naming Omar Suleiman as vice president failed to calm the protesters. Entrenched in Tahrir Square, they demanded he resign. On February 11th came the announcement. Mariama Diallo, VOA News.